Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today's video is about building a couple of sawhorses. Hold on a second, I know it doesn't sound like you need to see this. But I promise you, it's not exactly what you might think it is. It's a different kind of sawhorse. It's more versatile than a regular sawhorse, if you can even call it that. It's better than a regular sawhorse, it's better than a foldable steel or aluminum sawhorse, and definitely better than those cheap sawhorse brackets. It's a wooden sawhorse, and that's what they should be made of, because people like me can cut into it, but at the same time I want to avoid screws or nails anywhere near my saw blade. More often than not, I cut into it, like what happened here, and even stupid me destroying and cutting into my expensive aluminum sawhorse, which is not a lot of fun, and now I have to rebuild them and it takes a lot of time and effort. Another advantage is it will prevent me from hurting my knees or doing bone-breaking gymnastics or any other weird movements by cutting plywood on the ground, including all these guys. So I decided to use a 3/4 of an inch sheet of plywood, and I will not use any nails or screws for this build. First things first. I cut the sheet of plywood in half twice, so I end up with 4 sheets, roughly the size of 2 by 4 feet. After that, I pile them on top of each other, line up the edges and clamp them together. Now I measured dead center on the long side and mark 3/8 of an inch on either side of my center point, and draw 2 lines to the short side of the plywood and cut a 3/4 of an inch wide notch into the plywood. Actually, I'll cut it a smidge wider so that there's a little bit of room later. Using a different size thickness of plywood, I would have to adjust my measurements accordingly. My saw doesn't cut deep enough, so I have to flip that stack of plywood over, transfer my lines to the other side and cut again to the center, and finish that notch by cutting the rest with a jigsaw. Now I continue to customize my sawhorse. Because I'm not as creative as I think I am, all I came up with were squares. If you decide to build these sawhorses, you can cut out whatever you want, make them yours. Cut out a smiley face, your company logo, a unicorn, hearts, anything you like, it's yours. The reason I'm cutting an opening in each side is to reduce weight. It's also easier to dismantle by putting one foot in one opening and pull the other piece up. It's also easier to carry the sawhorse to the truck or any other vehicle, or moving it around in my workshop or on a work site. Of course, there are other designs I could have used to cut and resize plywood, although they are cool, but they're not as flexible as mine. So here I am with my new constructed sawhorses and looking forward to get a lot of use out of it. Obviously, ripping and resizing of plywood is one of them. Instead of working on a ladder, I can put my workpiece down to a comfortable level. Router corners and sanding, it's much easier. Now I also can stand up panels to work on edges. I can also use each sawhorse individually. Instantly I have 4 sawhorses. Think about that. For example, use them to paint or cut smaller pieces, lay another piece of plywood on top of it and use it as a table. Endless opportunities. Potentially, these famous guys could make some use of it. But obviously everyone has to decide for themselves if that could come in handy. Please let me know what you think about these sawhorses, or what should I call these. If you are planning on building them for yourself, please let me know in the comments. In the meantime, I'm going to have a nap before I take off to my next job site. Thanks for watching. Cheers.